we bring you another interruption of this program to give you episode 3 of this podcast. I am still at Shady Oak Primary School at the Summer Success Summit, and I'm still Kaylee, still in the same shirt because reasons. Today's episode, I'm interviewing Liam about specifically Genius Hour, which is a process thingamajig, I don't know the technical term, that we do at Shady Oak, specifically in the upper grades, because we're 1st through 5th. I think it's 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade that do Genius Hour. And so, Liam, just give the audience some context about who you are.
So, Genius Hour is a program. There's usually you just have to, before you pick anything, you pick your coworkers, and then you pick what you want to do. When you pick whatever you want to do, you have to research behind it. You have to learn. You can't just make money. You can sell your stuff at the bazaar, and you can use your research for if you're talking psychologically. We use the number 2 because 2 and 99 both trigger something in your brain. So we combined both, and we sold our bamboo walking sticks for $12.99, and they sold like hotcakes. They really sold well. We also got to sell paintings this year, and some were realistic and some were Jackson Pollock style, and we basically sold out because we pressured our math teacher to buy the last painting. But I had a really great time doing Genius Hour. I'm now an alumni, so I don't go to the school anymore, but I will definitely go to my sister's bazaar, try and help her sell some stuff, because yeah, we sold out. We made like $430. It was amazing. We split it 4 ways though. Amazing. I love Shady Oak.
Yeah, the bazaar, we mentioned second episode,
Briefly.
Last episode, when I interviewed Anne-Marie about basically the bazaar and her experience. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. All right. I'm going to do that again. So I remember I talked with Anne-Marie the second episode, and she did not mention anything about 2 or 99 being like psychological numbers. I had no idea that works. So maybe if I try to sell something in the near future, I'll market it as, I don't know, $12.99, because apparently that works. So and also, like I mentioned last episode, it's not just about the making and selling of the product, though those are really important elements. It's also about what goes on behind the curtain. So there's a really in-depth research process that goes with this whole Genius Hour program. So tell them, us, me, collective us, about this like research aspect.
Well, the research aspect, it has to be something teachable. You have to be able to Shark Tank it, and you have to, for the bazaar, I'm just totally semicolon here, totally different thing. The angel investment letter, where Mrs. Elder, she wants us to get used to and become comfortable with asking other people for money. You don't want to ever lose your money. You want to always lose someone else's money. But so we asked her. We could ask anyone. Like the first year, we asked our parents, because they were probably going to say, yes or no or whatever. Probably yes, because they're our parents. And the second year, we went to ask our neighbors. I asked my across the street neighbor, and we just asked him for $20, and we got it for painting supplies and paint canvases. This year, we were supposed to do the same thing again, but we asked Mrs. Elder for $10 worth of leather repair tape for our high-quality bamboo sticks. And the research process, you have to... the first year I was here, I wanted to do lightning in a jar. It's basically... It didn't work out because you have to have some sort of crazy lightning rod or whatever. and you were supposed to get electricity, viewable, visible electricity, like high voltage electricity in a jar, just a glass jar, like not that big. But I didn't get it, so it was kind of, it always has to be kind of a trial and error thing, and then you have to be able to Shark Tank.
Yeah, trial and error is a good point, because sometimes you see something that's like really cool. It's like, oh, lightning in a bottle. Honestly, that would, if that was what you would sold, it would probably have sold as well as that, because I would have bought it. Lightning in a bottle.
I wouldn't have sold that because it's not one of those things that you can sell.
What doesn't sound appealing about lightning in a bottle? Again, I hear crickets. So again, it is a big game of chance, risk, and trial and error in the business world. Game of chance. It's like, does this actually work? Is this legit? What do I have to buy? Oh, this thing costs a lot more than I thought. Back to the drawing board. There's a lot of that. And so, like, you found out with those lightning rods, it's not what you expect, and sometimes
tin foils, weird elements.
Sometimes you have to go back and think of something else. It's wise words. We're gonna get that out. So yeah, anything else about this behind the curtains genius hour project that really stood out to you, and what you would normally, like, if you were to start your own business, what aspects of this would you apply other than the angel investment letter? Because, like you heard last episode, which, by the way, if you haven't gone and watched that, stop this video right now, scroll down or up or left or right or wherever this is, and go watch that. But so what aspects of this whole process would you apply to a future business that you might start?
I think I would research a lot on the 6 ethical ways of persuasion or influence by
Robert Cialdini.
Yeah.
Great audiobook, by the way.
And I would just try and get as much psychological mind games going on as you can. And I would use, like, for example, you sell for higher prices, you're going to sell more because people want them more. It's supply and demand, I guess. Or sorry, maybe I should rephrase that, because it's more expensive, people are going to think that it's better. Because if you find, let's say you find something on eBay, it's like this $1,000 camera and you get it for $30. No one's gonna want to buy that, because it's not, realistically, it's not going to be real. It's going to be like some sort of cheap knockoff. But God, what was I saying?
More expensive equals more legit.
Okay, yes, thank you. And for the more expensive, I can't do this. I can't remember what I was saying.
Apply the principle of
yes, you want to research as much as you can, not on only psychology, but just as much cost as you can. As much research as you can for pricing, to see what's going to work, what's not going to work. And then you want to, I think Shark Tank is a really good example of what you're, just to introduce, to see if the community likes it or not. Because you want to get a wide range of community so you can see all of the ideas of your potential customers. So, like, children, adults, toddlers, people of all different cultures, and really different people, so you can get as much information about what the public wants as possible.
Yes, all very excuse me, I was like talking on helium for a second. All good points.
Yeah, good points
is what I was trying to say. all good points, and it's all just again a big. It's all mind games. You heard it from him. It's true. It's all the principles of influence, ethical influence. Don't be a manipulator. Don't do it. Just don't. Just use those in your
natural
natural ways. Don't try to manipulate people. Those are called smugglers. Don't be a smuggler.
Snugglers.
I said smuggler with an M. But all good pieces of advice, and to all of you watchers slash listeners that are looking to maybe have this dream of starting a business.
Entrepreneurship.
Insert big word about money here.
Financial support.
That. This is really good advice. So if you want to start your business, there's a lot that goes on behind the curtain. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of planning. There's a lot of failing. There's a lot of winning. There's a lot of stuff. So I mentioned last episode that it's not more than just making and selling. I want to really emphasize that it's a ton more than just making and selling. So, yet another good point why it's a lot more complicated than you think. But if you do it right, if you're not a smuggler, you can really start a business. So you don't have to be a certain age. You don't have to be 17 and a half to be like, oh, now I can start a business. You can start it today. You can start it tomorrow. You could have technically started it yesterday. So just, I don't want to get all like emotional and heartfelt and everything, but here we go. Chase your dreams and go after it.
And if you want to learn more on the process, rewatch this episode.
Exactly. So, any closing remarks for this episode before I do the generic outro?
No, I don't think so. Just have a good time. Just make sure you want to have 3 main things in mind. First, you want to keep something that's maintainable, something that you enjoy, and something that you can make profit out of.
Wise words. So, thanks, guys, for listening, watching to episode 3 of this podcast. I am Kaylee, and if you probably don't recognize the name because my podcast isn't that famous, but who knows, I am on Spotify. Me and another friend of mine did a podcast also for Shady Oak where we interview graduated alumni members about their successes and projects and memories at Shady Oak. So definitely go check that out. It's on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, etc. Wherever you listen to podcasts, it's on there. Just search Shady Oak Alumni Podcast and listen to that 6-episode podcast and listen to these 2 past episodes and listen to this one. But you're listening to this one because you're hearing this right now. But other than that, guys, we'll catch you later. So stay cool.